crooked teeth or misaligned bites keeping you from smiling confidently? I'm Sandra Gumansingh, and today I'm sitting down with professional dentist Dr. Shawn Cabell to dissect the buzz around clear aligners. Are they the key to your dream smile or just a pricey alternative to traditional braces? Join us as we uncover the real value behind this trending treatment. Thank you, Dr. Cabell, and thanks for joining us today. And today we're going to talk about Invisalign.
It's a good start. Let's talk about Invisalign. So the very first thing just want to point out is that Invisalign is just one of the products for clear aligners. So Invisalign was the first one. And so most people associate clear aligners with Invisalign. And for the longest time, there were only maybe 2 or 3 companies that made clear aligners, and Invisalign was the first one. So the others were not really well known by anyone other than dentists or orthodontists that were using the treatment.
What works better, Invisalign or braces?
They both work the same, but they work in a different way. So there are certain situations where having braces, the brackets and the wires, the metal and all of that works a little bit better for certain situations. And then there's certain situations where the aligners work better because the aligners have the ability to move the teeth in all directions. Whereas the braces, because it's a wire and brackets on the outside of your teeth, the force is kind of directed. Now, you can get the same effect at the end of the treatment with both, but they work in a different way. So if you were just asking me straight up, I'd say they're the same, but they are different because they have a different way of working.
Okay, so I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet lately. I did not realize this was trending as much as it is. How long does the treatment take?
So it depends on what you need the treatment for. So there's situations where a person can wear, and this is the same with braces and with Invisalign, where a person can wear the treatment for a few weeks, just 2 or 3 months. And there's situations where it could take years. So it depends on a lot of things. It depends on the situation of what you're looking to correct. It depends a little bit on the product, maybe what's available to get certain movements. It depends on, the experience that the dentist has with working with certain type of aligners. But on average, what I've noticed is that most of the treatment is finished within a year and a half, really. I would say I have some treatments that are pushing past 2 years, but the majority are within a year and a half.
Okay. Now, my son had braces done, and I know that costs a whole lot, and he wore it for a long, long time. How much does it cost? What's the difference in prices? So
this obviously is dependent on the office or whoever is doing the treatment, but the treatments are comparable. Now with insurance, if you have an insurance that covers orthodontic or braces treatments, the fees that are used when we bill out are the same for the aligners as they are for the braces. So for most offices, the treatment is going to be in the same price range. Now, like I said, it depends on the office. Some offices may charge one more for one or the other. In the offices where I work, the treatment cost is the same. It doesn't matter if you're doing braces or if you're doing aligners. Now, what does change is what type of treatment you need it for. So say, for example, if it's a limited type of treatment, say it's very small movement, maybe just a little bit of crowding or something like that, then that treatment could be, let's say, a little bit around $3,000. I know it is expensive. And then a full treatment is pushing closer to a little more than $5,000, close to $6,000, depending on the office, but that's the price range.
What would I need to do to get started?
The very first thing is that your overall dental health needs to be healthy. So no gum disease, no cavities. If you're having any type of problems or if you're getting any type of work done, the work should be done before you start. And the reason why, and I'm saying this is because once you have the aligners are set and made according to the way your teeth are. So say, for example, if you get a crown later, now, of course, treatment happens, things happen. There's situations where a patient needs a crown, they're in the middle of their treatment, and we can adjust it and we can make it work from that. But the beginning thing is that you need to have healthy teeth, healthy gums before you start. The second, we take records. So we take pictures. Most of the time we'll do a scan of your teeth, a 3D scan, so that we have something to send off. And then the aligners are fabricated from that point. We may also take x-rays to help to get more information about how your teeth can move and your position in the bone. From there, the aligners are made. They're sent to the office. We send something off. We do the diagnosis on the computer. So the plan is made on the computer between the dentist and between the lab that makes the treatment, whether it's Invisalign or Spark or Sure Smile, whichever one of the companies that it's made. And then when we get the trays back, most patients will need buttons or attachments on their teeth. Then we put the buttons in a little small piece of resin, the same material that's used for doing a filling, on your teeth. You don't see it at all, and then you have the trays, and you wear the trays.
Okay, well, if you had to give a little pro and con for each, how would you kind of break that down?
So the pros to having braces are that you don't have to think about it. Once you have the braces, you just have to come in for your regular appointments. The wires or the elastics or whatever that needs to be changed or adjusted is done in the office, but you don't have to really think about anything as a patient. But the bad part is that you have these brackets and wires on your teeth all of the time. So you have to be careful with what you eat. You have to be very careful in how you clean and take care of your teeth, because things can get stuck around the brackets and the wires. Not to mention that a lot of people don't really want to have anything on their teeth. So I know for some young people, wearing braces looks cool and they like wearing braces, but especially for adults that don't want to look like they're a teenager with braces, they don't want to have that. For the aligners, the benefit is that you can take them off. You can eat with your teeth you can eat as you normally would. Just take the aligners out, you can eat. You can brush your teeth and clean, so everything is the same. But the downside is that you have to remember to wear the aligners. You have to wear the aligners 24/7. The only time you should take them out is when you're eating. So it's not recommended. You shouldn't eat with them in. And then after you eat, you have to be very diligent in cleaning and brushing your teeth, because you don't want to have stuff stuck in your teeth and then put the plastic trays in afterwards. That can cause more problems, bad breath, it looks bad, and everything else on top of that. So you have to brush and clean your teeth. I tell most of the patients, make sure you take a toothbrush with you, when you go to school or work or whatever, so that when you take your aligners out and you put them in a little case, you can clean and brush your teeth before you put the aligners back in.
I've seen some online companies advertising these things. Do you think it's cheaper to go that route versus coming into a dentist's office?
So it's cheaper, however, and not to say something that's cliche, but you kind of get what you pay for. And the reason why I say that is not saying that the online type of aligner things don't work, because in theory they are doing the same thing. But the difference is that when you go to a dental office, you're doing the scan in the dental office, so it's accurate. A lot of the home treatments, you'll get a box, and you do the impression yourself. So there's not a dental professional making sure that the impression is done properly. It's not a digital impression. So that's one of the problems. Then the second thing is that you are not going to get the benefit of having, for example, like the buttons or any type of elastics, the attachments and things like that, which help the treatment to work better. The third point is that the home treatments are really limited in the types of things that they can treat. So I don't have an exact number or percentage of the cases that you can treat with like a home treatment, but it's far under 20 or 30% of the time of the cases. And most of the time they should tell you, if you're interested and you do something like that your case is not one of the type of cases that can be treated with the home cases. And then the last point is that you don't have a coach, you don't have a guide, a trainer to say, hey, we need to change this or we need to do this or whatever. So when you go to the dental office to get your aligners fitted and to check and things like that, we can look to tell you if things are going the way they should, if we need to do something different, if we need to do a rescan or something like that. If you're doing it at home, you're kind of on your own. I don't know if you've heard of the Smile Direct Club. They got really big. It was a good idea. However, when things get too big and and you have a situation like that where people have to do it at home and the marketing budget and all this, it causes problems, and the company is not in business anymore.
Yeah.
So that's really the only issue with the home aligner treatments.
Okay, well, one of the things we didn't talk about is, does it hurt?
No, I did the treatment for a little while. It's uncomfortable when you first start. And the reason why is because your teeth are moving. So if you can imagine constant pressure on your teeth, and you can't take the tray out. You can take the tray out, but if you take it out, it's not doing its job. So in the beginning, some people do have a little discomfort. Excuse me, but for most people, it's only in the beginning. After the teeth start to move, then most patients will say that it feels a little tight in the beginning on a new tray, but then after that, it's okay.
Okay, and you mentioned that it's moving your teeth, right? Naturally.
Yes.
So does that mean it's enough of a movement so that it could fill a gap?
Yes. You can treat if you have a gap between your teeth, if you have an overbite, if you have a crossbite, if you have, teeth here, teeth there, it can move and straighten your teeth up and give you a nice smile.
Okay, and for those people that need to have their wisdom teeth removed, do you have to have them removed before?
It's not a 100% you have to have it done, but in a lot of situations it's a good idea, especially if, say, we're dealing with someone that's in their late teens, early 20s, the time when wisdom teeth become a problem. It's probably a good idea to do it before, but it's not an absolute. You don't necessarily have to have your wisdom teeth out in order to have clear aligners done.
Does it work for any age, children and adults?
Yes. It works best for younger people because it's a little easier to move through the bone. However, if a person still has baby teeth, it's probably better to wait. And then the only issue with younger people is that younger people tend not to be as responsible with doing everything. Not to down younger people here, but you have to remember to wear the aligners. You have to remember to keep them in. You have to remember to change them every week or every 2 weeks, or every 5, 7, 10 days, whatever your treatment is. And it's hard for younger people sometimes to remember to do these. I think the target patient is usually probably like a young adult patient for Invisalign, for aligners, but it does work for younger people. And as far as older people, there's no age limit. A person can be, in their 70s and still do Invisalign aligner treatment if they'd like to.
Well, you mentioned earlier that sometimes the food gets trapped between things. So can you eat with the aligners in?
You should not eat with the aligners in. I mean, you can. However, it's not a good idea because, one, the food is going to get under the aligners, and then the second reason is because it's going to mess the aligners up. So when you're chewing, when you're eating, it's going to move the plastic and deform it and just mess up your treatment. So I would not recommend eating when you have your clear aligners.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'd like to thank you for sharing your knowledge with us, Dr. Cabell.
Well, thank you.
Take care.
All right.
Thanks, Dr. Cabell. It's clear why clear aligners are gaining popularity. They offer an effective, comfortable, and discreet way to straighten teeth, perfect for those seeking fast results from mild to severe issues. With expert guidance, you can achieve a smile you'll love for years to come. If you have questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below and check out this next cool video